Start with Why. By Simon Sinek. This summary is brought to you by Hook My Book. Steve Jobs and Wozniak created Apple Computer, which became a billion-dollar company in just 6 years. Jobs and Wozniak were not the only people taking part in the personal computer revolution. In fact, they didn't know much about business at all. What made Apple special was not its ability to build such a fast-growth company. It wasn't their ability to think differently about personal computers. What has made Apple special is that they've been able to repeat the pattern over and over and over. Unlike any of its competitors, Apple has successfully challenged conventional thinking within the computer industry, the small electronics industry, the music industry, the mobile phone industry, and the broader entertainment industry. Apple inspires others, starting with why they do what they do. Similarly, companies like Harley-Davidson, Disney and Southwest Airlines were also able to inspire. No matter where they hail, they all have something in common. All the inspiring leaders and companies, regardless of size or industry, think, act and communicate exactly alike. And it's the complete opposite of everyone else. They start with why. Assume you know. The American car executives went to Japan and saw a Japanese assembly line where the doors were put on the hinges the same way as in America, but something was missing. The American auto executives asked their Japanese guide at what point they made sure the door fit perfectly, and the guide replied that they make sure the door fits when they design it. In the Japanese auto plant, they didn't examine the problem and accumulate data to figure out the best solution, they engineered the outcome they wanted from the beginning. If they didn't achieve their desired outcome, it was because of a decision they made at the start of the process. The Japanese doors are likely to last longer and maybe even be more structurally sound in an accident, all for no other reason than they ensured the pieces fit from the start. What the American automakers did with their rubber mallets is a metaphor for how so many people and organizations lead. Leaders use short-term tactics to achieve the desired outcome, but these tactics can be ineffective if the structure is not sound. Leaders must be aware of the things they can't see to make successful decisions. Manipulations lead to transactions, not loyalty. Most businesses today rely on manipulations to get what they need, such as dropping the price, running a promotion, or using fear, peer pressure, or inspirational messages. However, these manipulations work only if the businesses don't have a clear sense of why their customers are their customers. In business, it is often effective to lower prices to sell more products. This is why many companies do it. However, this can have negative consequences, such as damaging a company's reputation, cutting into profits, and causing addiction to price. A promotional offer is a way for a company to reduce the risk of potential customers by giving away something for free to increase the chances that someone will buy the product. This can be a rebate, a discount, or a free product. Regulators have stepped up their scrutiny of the rebate industry, but with only limited success. Fear is a very powerful manipulation, and it can be used for many different reasons, such as safety, ethics, or marketing. If anyone has ever sold you anything with a warning to fear the consequences if you don't buy it, they are using a proverbial gun to your head to help you see the value of choosing them over their competitor. Marketers often talk about the importance of being aspirational, which is a positive message that can be effective with those who lack discipline or have a nagging fear or insecurity that they can't achieve their dreams on their own. However, aspirational messages are most effective with those who lack discipline or have a nagging fear or insecurity that they can't achieve their dreams on their own. Manipulations work, but they cost money. Lots of money. When the money is not as available to fund those tactics, not having a loyal following hurts. The danger of manipulations is that they work. This creates systemic peer pressure where the majority of companies and organizations practice manipulations, regardless of size or industry. This creates a problem because the manipulations have led to the current economic crisis. There is an alternative to this system, but it requires people to change their behavior. The Golden Circle. The concept of the Golden Circle is that some leaders inspire people in a way that is opposite of the way that most people are. These leaders think, act, and communicate in a way that is based on a mathematical relationship called the golden ratio. The golden ratio has been found in nature and supports the idea that there is more order in nature than we think. The golden ratio also has many applications in many fields, including leadership, corporate culture, hiring, product development, sales, and marketing. The concept of the circle starts from the inside out and explains how these leaders were able to inspire action instead of manipulating people. The golden circle describes the pattern in which companies typically communicate from why they do it, what they do to how they do it, to what they can offer, and finally to a call to action. The inspiring leaders and companies communicate from the inside out, starting with their purpose or reason for existence. Apple communicates from the outside in by leading with why, then what and how. Their products, while important, are not enough in themselves to generate such astounding loyalty among their customers. Their products, unto themselves, are not the reason Apple is perceived as superior. Their products, what Apple makes, serve as the tangible proof of what they believe. It is that clear correlation between what they do and why they do it that makes Apple stand out. Apply says, everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use and user-friendly. And we happen to make great computers. Wanna buy one? It's a completely different message. There's no trickery, no manipulation, no free stuff, no aspirational messages, no celebrities. Apple doesn't simply reverse the order of information, their message starts with why. The author discusses how businesses can be successful, and how if a business's why becomes fuzzy, it becomes more difficult to maintain success. The author compares the railroad's downfall to the music industry and other industries that have not adapted to new technology. The author argues that if businesses remember their original purpose, cause, or belief, it will help them adapt to new technologies. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Companies that fail to communicate a sense of why force us to make decisions with only empirical evidence. This is why those decisions take more time, feel difficult or leave us uncertain. Under these conditions, manipulative strategies that exploit our desires, fears, doubts or fantasies work very well. We're forced to make these less than inspiring decisions for one simple reason: companies don't offer us anything else besides the facts and figures, features and benefits upon which to base our decisions. A failure to communicate why creates nothing but stress or doubt. In contrast, many people who are drawn to buy Macintosh computers or Harley-Davidson motorcycles, for example, don't need to talk to anyone about which brand to choose. They feel the utmost confidence in their decision and the only question they ask is which Mac or which Harley. At that level, the rational features and benefits, facts and figures matter, but do not drive the decision to give money or loyalty to the company or brand. That decision is already made. The tangible features are simply to help direct the choice of product that best fits our needs. In these cases, the decisions happened in the perfect inside-out order. Those decisions started with why, the emotional component of the decision, and then the rational components allowed the buyer to verbalize or rationalize the reasons for their decision. The amount of market research that reveals that people want to do business with the company that offers them the best quality products, with the most features, the best service and all at a good price is astounding. But consider the companies with the greatest loyalty, they rarely have all those things. If you wanted to buy a custom Harley-Davidson, you used to wait 6 months for delivery. To give them credit, they've got it down from a year. That's bad service. Apple's computers are at least 25% more expensive than a comparable PC. There is less software available for their operating system. They have fewer peripherals. The machines themselves are sometimes slower than a comparable PC. If people made only rational decisions and did all the research before making a purchase, no one would ever buy a Mac. But of course, people do buy Macs. And some don't just buy them, they love them, a feeling that comes straight from the heart. It's about the power of why. Products are not just symbols of what a company believes, but also symbols of what the loyal customers believe. People like Apple products because everyone knows they are using a Mac. It is an emblem, a symbol of who they are. That glowing Apple logo speaks to something about them and how they see the world. The golden circle is a model for organizing an ecosystem to maintain balance. To be effective, each piece of the model must be in balance and the right order. To stay focused on the why, clarity of purpose and values is necessary. Discipline to hold oneself and others accountable to those principles is necessary to maintain balance. Manipulation is when someone uses emotional manipulation to get someone to do something they don't want to do. Inspiration is when someone is moved by a feeling to make good decisions. When decisions are made based on emotions, they are more likely to be inspired decisions. When decisions are inspired, the buyer is more likely to be loyal to the company or product. Trust. With trust comes a sense of value, real value, not just value equated with money. Value, by definition, is the transference of trust. You can't convince someone you have value, just as you can't convince someone to trust you. You have to earn trust by communicating and demonstrating that you share the same values and beliefs. You have to talk about your why and prove it with what you do. Again, a why is just a belief, hows are the actions we take to realize that belief, and what's are the results of those actions. When all three are in balance, trust is built and value is perceived. Companies with a strong sense of why can inspire their employees. Those employees are more productive and innovative, and the feeling they bring to work attracts other people eager to work there as well. It's not such a stretch to see why the companies that we love to do business with are also the best employers. When people inside the company know why they come to work, people outside the company are vastly more likely to understand why the company is special. In these organizations, from the management on down, no one sees themselves as any more or any less than anyone else. They all need each other. Dream teams are made up of experts who come together to do a job, but they can also be stressful because they may not be working for the good of the whole. Leaders should create an environment in which the best ideas can happen, not come up with all the ideas. Start with why, but know how. Microsoft's former CEO, Bill Gates, is replaced by Steve Ballmer. Ballmer is very energetic and seems to be a good fit for the company. However, the next day or the next week, Ballmer's energy may not be there to motivate his employees, and Microsoft may not be as focused as it used to be. Charisma comes from clarity of why one is doing what they are doing, while energy comes from a good night's sleep or lots of caffeine. Energy can always be injected into an organization to motivate people to do things. Bonuses, promotions, other carrots and even a few sticks can get people to work harder, for sure, but the gains are, like all manipulations, short-term. Over time, such tactics cost more money and increase stress for employees and employers alike, and eventually will become the main reason people show up for work every day. That's not loyalty. That's the employee version of repeat business. Loyalty among employees is when they turn down more money or benefits to continue working at the same company. The author discusses how certain things in someone's life, such as what they do, don't matter as long as the person's driving purpose is still in the balance. This driving purpose, or why, is what never changes. It could be something as simple as wanting to help others, or as big as wanting to bring a new change to society. The author argues that it takes more than just inspiration to drive a movement and that something more must be in place to help achieve greatness. The pessimists are right most of the time, but it's the optimists who change the world. Bill Gates imagined a world in which the computer could help us all reach our greatest potential. And it happened. Now he imagines a world in which malaria does not exist. And it will happen. The Wright brothers imagined a world in which we'd all take to the skies as easily as we catch the bus. And it happened. Y-types have the power to change the course of industries or even the world, if only they knew how. A great organization is like a social movement. They inspire people to talk about a product or idea, include that product in the context of their lifestyle, share the idea, or even find ways to advance the prosperity of the organization itself. No cashback incentives or mail-in rebates are required. People feel compelled to spread the word, not because they have to, but because they want to. The founder of a small company has direct contact with customers, employees, and the outside world. As the company grows, systems and processes are added, and the leader's role changes. The founder's personality is no longer the personality of the company, and the leader's job is to focus on how, the layer directly beneath what. The leader must ensure there are people on the team who believe what they believe and know how to build it. The how types are responsible for understanding why and must come to work every day to develop the systems and hire the people who are ultimately responsible for bringing the why to life. The general employees are responsible for demonstrating the why to the outside world in whatever the company says and does. The challenge is that they can do it. Remember the biology of the golden circle. The why exists in the part of the brain that controls feelings and decision-making but not language. What's exist in the part of the brain that controls rational thought and language. Comparing the biology of the brain to the three-dimensional rendering of the golden circle reveals a profound insight. A logo is just a logo if it doesn't have meaning to people. Companies need to have clear values and beliefs to have a meaningful logo. The meanings of symbols can change over time, depending on what people believe. Harley-Davidson's symbol has become so meaningful to many people that 12% of its revenue comes from merchandising. Apple uses commercials to communicate its beliefs to its customers. The commercial in question is about how Macs are the best computers and how they will make you smarter. The commercial is designed to make people want to buy a Mac, and it is very effective because it speaks to people's emotions. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, and Apple says and does only the things they believe. If what you do doesn't prove what you believe, then no one will know what your why is, and you'll be forced to compete on price, service, quality, features, and benefits, the stuff of commodities. Apple has a clear and loud megaphone and is exceptionally good at communicating its story. Finally, with a why clearly stated in an organization, anyone within the organization can make a decision as clearly and as accurately as the founder. A why provides a clear filter for decision-making. Those with an ability to never lose sight of why, no matter how little or how much they achieve, can inspire us. Those with the ability to never lose sight of why and also achieve the milestones that keep everyone focused in the right direction are great leaders. For great leaders, the golden circle is in balance. They are in pursuit of why, they hold themselves accountable to how they do it, and what they do serves as the tangible proof of what they believe. But most of us, unfortunately, reach a place where what we are doing and why we are doing it eventually fall out of balance. We get to a point when why and what are not aligned. It is the separation of the tangible and the intangible that marks the split. End of the summary. Thanks for listening.